Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you may be. CC here, Chris, from New York, Westchester County. It's July 13th, 2019. And the question I have is, why? Why has there not been a single scientist or anybody that holds a doctrine in physics or whatever it may be have come out and tried to debunk flat Earth? Why? When we have all these videos and all this proof that we live on a flat, stationary plane. For example, with any telescopic lens or a conventional P900 or P1000, probably be able to get a P900 now for like $600, that we can go down to the beach, zoom in on a boat that's about 20 miles away, and it doesn't go over any horizon. Why? Hasn't there been one scientist that has been able to debunk that at all? When we all know at that point, it's about approximately 266 feet of curvature. But yet we can zoom right in on the thing. Atmospheric disturbance. That's all they need to say. Remember when you bought your first car? Really? You were car shopping. And you had all these questions about the car. Forget about nowadays, because they've got so many fucking options on these cars now, it's confused the shit out of everybody. I'm talking, let's go back. Let's go back to 1993. Okay, when the options were shit. You either had power seats, a fucking CD player if you were lucky, or a sunroof, or whatever. These were simple options. You were comparing your car to this car over here that had a V6 engine or a four-cylinder engine. You were worried about gas mileage. If you went into that car dealership and you started asking these questions and the salesman didn't know how to answer any of them, like, why is this car better than that car? I don't know. Would you buy it? No, you wouldn't. But yet everybody buys the fact that these scientists can say whatever the fuck they want without any proof, without any evidence, with nothing. All they have to do is put this white coat on or sit behind a desk or whatever. I'm just saying, isn't that ridiculous? Now think of it in a sales perspective. All right, a sales point of view. When you're going out to buy something, you want answers, right? You want to know if that, well, it's all digitized now, but we're still back in the 90s right now, all right? So you want to know if that CD player, all right, is better than that CD player. You want to know these things, but people don't seem to care when it comes down to scientism. They'll just buy anything any of these scientists say. Why? Why is it? Well, all right, just take a picture. Go on to NASA's website. Take a look at NASA. Take a look at that beautiful picture of the Apollo 11. Oh, it's a glorious picture, isn't it? Oh man, it's perfect. I don't know how anybody could take a more perfect picture to see that lunar lander. Look at the picture. Check out. Name me 10 things, or just name me 3 things you can look at in that picture that don't make any sense at all. Tape. But you know what? I'm not even going to lead you in there. I'm going to let people look at that picture and just say, you think this landed on the moon. Okay. Now, forget about that there's no crater marks or, there's absolutely nothing there at all whatsoever. Because, even if you were to land anything on a bed of sand, there would be some sort of disruption. But there's not. There's no disturbance at all in the ground at all. It just landed perfectly. It's great. Those big rockets that they have out there in space. Wow. I don't know how NASA managed to do that, but perfect picture. Now, I want you to think about the camera that they were using back in 1969, it was like this, with a lens that was on the outside right here. And there was, you didn't even know what you were taking a picture of. There was no lens here in the front. But yet it's perfect. So basically all they had was this big block, and they took a picture of it, perfectly landscaped. Why? The lunar landing, when they took off. Oh, well, the lunar landing. I'm saying when they left the moon. They have a camera with an autofocus on it that was a remote from the lunar module that took them coming off the moon. Why? Why hasn't anybody questioned this? With the technology we had back in 1969, are you telling me that they had the technology to sit there with a remote access to a camera on something that they flew off of, and it took this perfectly wonderful, historic video of them launching off the moon? Why? Why hasn't anybody asked about the spacesuits? I mean, this is just such an obvious fucking thing. It's unbelievable how obvious this is. What happens in the vacuum of space? Air wants to escape immediately. What material could be possibly in a spacesuit that would hold it together, especially your gloves, that would not look like a Goodyear blimp? Why? Why hasn't anybody asked about this? Why haven't people even looked into this? You know why? Because they become so fucking indoctrinated in this freaking place that we live in here, on this flat plane, that they're so trained that they don't care. And that is a shame. With all these lies and all these people that are walking around that are intelligent beings that can figure out everything. I mean, we're human, you know. I mean, we have questions, you know. We're detectives. We all are, but yet they become so trained that they don't ask why on the simplest things. I thank you for subbing. I thank you for viewing my videos, and let me be a part of your life.